Welcome back to Wikilert.
Welcome back to the channel, where we dive into the stories shaking the world and sparking wild conversations online. Today, we're tackling a heartbreaking tragedy and a bizarre viral claim: the Air India flight AI-171 crash in Ahmedabad on June 12, 2025, that claimed nearly 300 lives, and the eerie talk of a Simpsons prediction tied to a newspaper ad published just hours before. We're breaking down what happened, the facts of the crash, the sole survivor's miracle, and whether the Simpsons really foresaw this disaster or if it's another internet frenzy. This is a heavy topic, so we'll approach it with respect while digging into the truth. Grab a seat, stay focused, and let's unpack this story together. Before we dive in, if this video sheds light or moves you, smash that like button, share it with your squad, and hit that subscribe button with the bell so you never miss a drop. Let's grow this community and keep the conversation real. Let's start with the tragedy that's gripped the world. On June 12, 2025, Air India flight AI-171, a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner bound for London Gatwick, crashed just 30 seconds after takeoff from Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport in Ahmedabad, India. Carrying 230 passengers and 12 crew members, 242 people total, the plane issued a mayday call, reporting no thrust, losing power, unable to lift, before slamming into a medical college hostel in the Meghaninagar neighborhood, killing 241 on board and at least 33 people on the ground, including medical students and a doctor's wife. The death toll, now at 274 and possibly rising, marks this as India's worst aviation disaster in decades and the world's deadliest in 10 years. The plane, which first flew in 2013 and joined Air India in 2014, burst into flames, leaving smoldering wreckage across the hostel's dining area, as seen in verified CCTV footage showing a fireball seconds after takeoff. Rescue teams, including the National Disaster Response Force and forensic experts, are still combing debris for bodies, with DNA matching needed to identify victims due to the crash's severity. The sole survivor, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, a 40-year-old British national of Indian origin from Leicester, was seated in 11A next to an emergency exit. He told India's DD News he saw the crew and passengers die before his eyes but managed to escape, calling his survival a miracle. Hospitalized at Ahmedabad Civil Hospital, he's the only known survivor from the plane, though some ground victims may still be in care. His brother, Nayan Kumar Ramesh, told Sky News Vishwash called their father post-crash to confirm he was alive. The emotional toll is unimaginable, with families like one daughter offering 2 crore rupees to bring back her father, highlighting the grief at BJ Medical College, where bodies are being identified. Now, what caused this catastrophe? Investigators from India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, joined by US National Transportation Safety Board and UK Air Accidents Investigation Branch experts, are focusing on the plane's engine thrust, wing flaps, and landing gear, which appeared down during takeoff, per Sky News. Both black boxes, flight data and cockpit voice recorders, were recovered, one found on the hostel rooftop, and are being analyzed. Theories include engine failure, a flap misconfiguration, or multiple bird strikes, but no smoke or fire is visible in blurry crash videos, ruling out obvious engine issues. A passenger, Akash Vatsa, who flew the plane's earlier Delhi-Ahmedabad leg, reported unusual things and urged authorities to contact him, though details remain vague. The pilots, Captain Sumit Savawal with 8,000 hours and co-pilot Clive Kundar with 1,100 hours, were highly experienced, reducing the likelihood of pilot error. India's aviation regulator has ordered safety checks on Air India's entire Boeing 787 fleet, and the government is considering grounding it temporarily, per NDTV. This is the first fatal crash of a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, a model praised for efficiency since 2011, though early battery issues were fixed years ago. A preliminary report is expected in 3 to 6 months, with a final report in 1 to 2 years, per Annex 14 protocols. Air India, owned by Tata Group since 2022, has pledged 1 crore rupees, about $116,000, per deceased victim's family and will cover medical costs for the injured. CEO Campbell Wilson visited the site, calling it deeply moving and committed to full cooperation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah also visited, meeting survivors and overseeing rescue efforts. The flight number AI-171 has been retired, replaced by AI-159, to avoid trauma, a common airline practice. Anti-terror squads are part of the probe, but no foul play is confirmed. The crash's impact on Ahmedabad's Nagar, a densely populated area, has left residents like Rekha, who described a bomb blast, noise, shaken. Markets in Rajkot shut down to honor victims, including former Gujarat CM Vijay Rupani. Now, let's tackle the viral claim. Did The Simpsons predict this crash? Social media, especially X, exploded with posts suggesting the show foresaw the tragedy, pointing to a Gujarat newspaper ad published hours before the crash on June 12. The ad, described by outlets like NDTV and Z News, depicted a plane crashing into a building, eerily mirroring Flight AI-171's descent into the Medical College hostel. One X post called The Simpsons a time machine, citing its history of predictions, like Trump's presidency or 9/11 imagery. Another labeled the ad a crazy coincidence, fueling speculation. But let's be clear, there's no evidence The Simpsons directly predicted this crash. The show, running since 1989, has over 700 episodes, often featuring exaggerated scenarios like plane crashes or disasters that can seem prophetic when real events align. The newspaper ad, likely for a local product or film, wasn't tied to The Simpsons but sparked comparisons due to its timing and imagery. This Simpsons prediction narrative is a social media phenomenon, not fact, driven by confirmation bias. People notice vague similarities and ignore mismatches. No specific episode has been linked to Flight AI-171's details, unlike past claims tied to broad themes. The ad's coincidence is chilling but not supernatural, as ads often use dramatic imagery for attention. Why do these Simpsons claims persist? The show's cultural reach, seen by billions, means its generic plots often overlap with reality. A 2023 study in Psychology Today noted humans seek patterns, amplifying coincidences into predictions. X posts reflect this, with users joking about The Simpsons' clairvoyance, but no credible source ties the ad or crash to an episode. This frenzy distracts from the tragedy's real issues: aviation safety, victim support, and accountability. It's a reminder to check sources and avoid sensationalism, especially when 274 families are grieving. Critically, the crash exposes aviation's vulnerabilities. The Boeing 787's clean safety record until now raises questions about Air India's maintenance, though Reuters notes no prior issues with its GE Aerospace engines. India's aviation market, growing 15% yearly per IATA, faces pressure to prioritize safety, with 1,200 Dreamliners worldwide now under scrutiny. The survivors' escape via an emergency exit highlights training's value, but the loss of medical students underscores urban planning risks near airports. The Simpsons buzz, while intriguing, risks trivializing a disaster that demands focus on black box data and policy reform, not memes. The Air India Flight AI-171 crash is a tragedy of unimaginable scale, with 274 lives lost and one miraculous survivor. The Simpsons prediction claim, tied to a newspaper ad, is a coincidence amplified by social media, not evidence of prophecy. Investigators are working hard, and families need support, not speculation. What's your take? Does the ad's timing blow your mind, or is it just noise? Drop it in the comments, and let's honor the victims. If this video hit home, give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe for more real stories. Hit that bell to stay locked in. Until next time, stay thoughtful, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.